is the creation of the content, because there's so many tools available to do it. So we use a tool like Market Muse to do the content strategy, which looks at our site, analyzes our domain strength, predicts what we should write or republish. Then we can build briefs and it'll say, okay, here's what questions you should answer within the content. So like, that's fantastic. And that is more in the planning stage and the preparation. But you can go get an AI writing tool today. I mean, there are dozens of them, and start testing it yourself. Do it to create drafts, create briefs, write a paragraph, rewrite a paragraph in a different tone. Like, there are dozens of use cases within just AI writing tools. So that to me is the most readily accessible thing that any marketer can go experiment with and start to realize the potential it has.
In terms of tools, of course, here in the US, everybody heard about Market Muse.
Yeah.
Do you know of any direct competitors? I haven't seen many, to be honest, but I don't have your knowledge on that. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, not in the holistic platform phase where they're actually enabling not only the assessment of your site, but then building of the briefs. I mean, there's certainly features within their platform where you can go get point solutions to do specific things. But it's like any other marketing technology. There's people who build features or like very specific point solutions, and then there's people who build platforms, and they try and infuse all the different capabilities into it. Market Muse is definitely more of a platform play, where it's designed to get in there and not just do your SEO and your metadata and things like that, but it's actually a holistic strategic approach to content. So they're a major player there. But then when you get into the writing tools, like I said, I mean, there's dozens of them, and most of them are built on GPT-3. Like, it's
so, and in terms of platform precisely, today as a content marketer, it's almost impossible to do your job. I mean, like when you are obsolete, meaning not yet into AI, it's almost impossible to do your job without at least SEMrush or Ahref. I know you have a AI and SEO part in your book, but my question is, would at some point Market Muse replace SEMrush and Ahref? Because you see where I'm going in terms of determining some topics and then going deeper into keywords and stuff. I feel like one can at some point really easily replace the other two. What do you think?
I definitely see them as complementary, whether they're integrated into each other or I mean, there's certainly things that that those two do that Market Muse does not, and hasn't built into their platform, that I think it would be common to have both tools. But you could certainly see where they're close enough that you could just integrate those capabilities. And I think what's going to happen is this tech is moving so fast, you're going to see a lot of integrations and mergers and stuff like that. Yeah, where they have to work together.
What, just an idea, like when I was waiting for you, how do you see, just from your marketing agency standpoint, some company like Shutterstock or eStock moving forward, considering AI? They have a kind of a big deal of brainstorming about their business model. No, what do you think?
Shutterstock launched an AI division last year and acquired 3 AI companies. Their images, their stock photos, were used to train DALL-E. So Shutterstock's play was actually to become a data company and use all the data they had, including copyrighted data from photographers and designers, to train machines that could, in theory, replace the need for them. Unsplash does not allow AI generated images on their site right now. Getty doesn't allow AI generated images on their site. So it is that may change in 3 months. It may change. It's a wild space right now. There's a lot of unknowns and a lot of people playing catch up, trying to figure out what it does to their business model. But Shutterstock moved early.
That's very, very good advice, and I think we should all try. But that leads me to another question. There is so many tools that we should try. That at some point prioritizing is really crucial, and also in terms of budget. So that's one of my main questions. On a budget, this is a question I ask all my guests. If I give you today $15,000 to start and create from scratch a content strategy and succeed with it, how would you spend it? I had very interesting answers so far. I'm very curious to hear about yours. And I'm going to then right after dig deeper into one thing specifically.
15,000 for the year or just like a month?
15,000. You're an entrepreneur.
Total.
You have a lot of money. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the rule. That's the game.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly get a writing tool, but again, you can get one of those for like $99 a month for an advanced version. You can probably get ones for $50 a month. I would get a few different tools. So I would get Descript for my podcasting and my webinars and my videos. I would probably get, a writing tool, and then I would figure out what the best strategy tool is. And maybe it is a Market Muse or something like that. But that, yeah, I mean, I would get my tech stack in order, and then I would figure out what my writing team looks like. And then I would probably reserve at least half of the budget, if possible, for paid promotion of the things I'm going to create, so I can constantly test and revise. So I think I always told people in my agency days, in a perfect world, 20% should be spent on content creation and 80% on promotion of the content. But 50-50 is even a reasonable target. So if I'm spending 50% of my time on the tech and the generation of it, I need at least 50% of that budget going toward the promotion of the assets. Because too often what happens is people create content and then they give up on it before they ever actually promoted it correctly. And so they think something didn't work, and it was actually a failure in activation, not a failure in creation.
Yeah, I heard one day that the value of a content that is not promoted well is actually zero. So
yeah, I don't know what Polizzi's answer was, but I could hear him like in the back of my head saying like, you have to buy an audience. So like some of the best stuff I wrote in the early days of my agency back in like 2007, 2008, we had nobody was listening. There was nobody subscribed, no followers. And so you can write the greatest ebook, you can create the greatest video or podcast. And if you don't have a platform, you don't have an audience, it doesn't matter. And so that's, building the audience is just critical. And I know that's what Joe teaches, is you always got to, build that audience first.